Welcome to Skip versus Ernestine. This is our weekly sparring session in which we two soulmates bare our souls over how we barely keep our marriage together in spite of my obsession with watching sports.
Yep.
We disagree.
We do.
We fight.
We do.
Whew. We somehow love each other more than ever.
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
Depends on the day.
And that's thanks in part to our buffer, our daughter Hazel.
This little
Say
one.
hi. Our 8-year-old
Hazel.
Maltese, our
Hazel.
warrior princess.
She's a feather-wearing chick.
Yeah, she runs
Hippie
this
chick.
household. And by the way, before we launch here, if I may say so myself, there's nothing out there like this show.
No, there's not.
And we do appreciate all the love that you're
We
giving this show.
do.
And we will get to your questions and comments
We
in
will.
just a few minutes. But first up, and by the way, we already fought just before we started
We did.
to tape
We
here
did.
because she's saying,
I said,
well, it's
I'm wearing
holidays.
a Christmas sparkly top for the holidays. And he said, why don't you wear that all the time?
Well, I mean, why should it be
Well,
special for the holidays? Why
because-
wouldn't you wear it for every weekly episode?
I would wear it with jeans, which I have jeans on now, but
Okay.
it's more of a festive top. And I know that it's really cool and chic and in vogue to wear a sparkle top with pajama bottoms, but
So you're
I
saying
like
you
to wear
dress
it-
down for every other week
yeah, I
except
dress
Christmas
down.
week?
Yeah,
Great.
yes, I dress down in my tattered clothes every other week. Whatever.
Okay, if you think that's bad, let's go even deeper.
Well, here we
Let's
go.
go to one of our quote-unquote pet topics, one that we've battled about constantly in this household. It's a literally hair-raising topic for me because it's Ernestine's obsession with her hair.
I'm not
I don't
obsessed
get it.
with my hair.
I want this to be an intervention about your hair.
He is totally
obsession.
insane. And I'm telling you right now, 98% of women that will be watching and listening to this can totally relate to me. I am not obsessed with my hair. It's just that there's always a hair
Okay.
situation when I have changed hairstylists for the last 20 years because they can never get the color right.
Okay,
And then
but-
I come home and then I say to him, well, look at the color. And he goes, that looks great. But I know it's still not the right color that I want. So then I have to find another hairstylist. I have finally found somebody who's really great. And
She
I
says
love
that
him to
about
death.
all the
And then
time.
he says to me, well, you're going to be leaving him in another 2 weeks.
It will. The
It's not
last
true.
2 more weeks.
And I went to one place when I first moved out here, and she burned my hair.
was
My
8
hair
years
is
ago.
wavy. My hair is naturally wavy, and I used to leave it wavy all the time. And then I said, oh, I want to get it blown out. She blew my hair out, and she fried my hair with not only the hair dryer, but then a flat iron. And I was sitting on the couch one night, and I pulled my hair out in my hand, and I realized she fried my
know.
hair. So I couldn't go back to her. This is an ongoing. I was thinking about writing
Okay.
a book about all my hair problems because women can relate.
We have been here 8 years,
Yeah.
and you've had 80 stylists.
Yes,
It's
and I
like it
lived in-
changes every
that's
2 weeks.
true.
And you say, oh, I found this new woman or this new
Right,
guy.
until I
and they're
go to
great.
them for
And
2
then
times,
they're
and then
out.
I realize they don't get what I'm saying. My hair right now, I want more contrast in it. So the person I go to now is really great, and I really like him. And he said he's going to help me get to that point. There's nothing wrong with me. Every woman can relate to this. And I'm thinking about writing a book about hair problems that women go through.
Do you really, like my mom went to the same guy for like 40 years.
Your mother, it was 1942. I
Okay.
mean, she goes to the same guy 1942 through 1960 until he passed away. Your mother had, no offense to your mother, she had like a bouffant style.
She
She
did.
had,
She was
really,
very
she
pretty,
was
though.
like, with the
Very
curlers and then you keep it for a week and you set it. I don't set my hair. So your mother liked the guy.
Okay,
But your
you
mother,
know,
you know.
I have trauma from my childhood
Well, it's
because
not my fault you have trauma from
Okay,
your mother's
but-
hair issues.
all right, but my father was never around, so I had to be as the oldest, the man of the house.
Yeah.
So my mother came home to me every, whatever it was, would she go 2 weeks to get
Yeah.
her hair fixed, as she said?
Yeah,
I
set,
got to get
yeah.
my hair fixed.
Yeah.
And she would come home and she'd say, how do you like my hair? Well, what am I supposed to say? I hate it?
It's not a bad question.
I know, but I would
well,
say,
because your father showed her no love.
No
so your
love.
father.
so I had to be my
Normally, a man would say, "Oh, your hair looks great, honey. It looks great." So your father wasn't there. So she asks you. So because your mother asks you that
So here
how
was
her
the
hair
problem.
looked, now you have a problem because I say to you, "I don't like the
Okay,
way my
but
hair."
here was the trauma with my mother. She'd say, how do you like my hair? And I'd say, you know what? It looks great. And then 2 weeks later, it would be a different color
Because
and a different style. And she'd say, how do you like my hair?
That's not to be archaic, but a woman's prerogative. I can change my hair. You have changed your hairstyle. I liked when I met you, your hair was longer. I said, wow, your hair looks really good, a little longer. It gets wavy. It looks good. And then he goes and he gets his hair cut. You showed me a picture the other day, and it was short. We were on the couch. Well, that was like the first week I met you, but then your hair started getting longer. And then every time I say to him, why don't you let your hair grow? He goes, yeah, I will. And then the next thing I know, he's like, I'm going to get my hair cut. So there you go.
Well, I work out too much, and and when I play golf, I don't like it flipping up out of my cap. I don't know.
Women can write in, and I'm telling you, every woman has this problem. The hair color is wrong. They cut your hair. They burn your hair. There are problems in America with hair.
You tell me how much you like this guy. Just stick with him.
The new guy I love.
He'll figure it out.
I'm sticking with him.
Maybe you'll have a bad day. He'll have a bad day, but just stay with him.
Listen, I've worked with every hair god in the country. When I was doing public relations, I've worked with Warren Tricone, Louis Licari. I can go on and on and on. And even with those guys, it's not always right.
Okay, have I changed since you've known me for 20 years?
Well, you have a problem. You stay loyal to people that are terrible, and I say to you, why would you go back to this guy if he doesn't do your hair well? And you go, well, I'm not like you. I don't jump around.
Okay, but the only
I jump
time
around until I get what I want.
Okay, the only time I've ever changed is when they change, as in move or leave the business.
I know, but you'll stay with the person until they move, even though you don't like the hair. Whatever he's doing your hair, you still stay with them.
Or she.
Yeah. Or you stay with her. I don't know. You have an issue with that. I don't. It's like, am I going to go to the restaurant if they serve me bad food? I'm going to go back again? No, I'm going to try a new restaurant. It's the same premise.
Okay, seriously, you've had 80 different styles.
I have.
Okay,
well, yes.
That's like, I got to intervene and say enough of that.
So a woman is supposed to wear her hair from the day she's born to the day she dies with one hairstyle and one hair color.
No, but you find one good person and you just let them have a bad day.
Well, it's very hard to find one good person out there. It's not my fault. There's not a lot of talented people that are reputable.
So you don't think you're a little crazy?
Not at all. Every single one of my friends have the same exact issues.
Okay, by the way, I really like your hair right now. It looks great.
Take a good look at it. Take a picture.
I know, because it's going to change. Watch. You can just compare videos of this show from week to week, and it will look very different in a week. And now that she's becoming a big star now on Instagram. That's what you tell me.
Oh, I tell you I'm a big star?
On Instagram.
I'm not a star on Instagram. I never even go on Instagram. Okay. Once in a while I post something.
Okay, so now she has a new pattern with her hair in which she goes, is it like twice a week?
I go twice a week because...
Twice a week?
Okay, every woman will understand
I'm going to have to get another job. I got to go back to work.
You don't even pay for it. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's not even your money.
Okay.
Wait, you act as though you're paying for everything.
Hazel,
I got to tell you.
Tell me I'm
I go once a week to get my hair blown out, okay? Because once she burned my hair, I had to have a keratin treatment. It straightened my hair. I'm looking forward to when I can get it back to wavy because that's what I really like. But till then, I get it blown out, and then I go 3 days later for a touch-up. He just quickly blows it out. So I go twice a week. Every week, he doesn't understand.
You don't think that's excessive?
No, that's what everybody does who gets
Everybody does that?
There are women here that I know get their hair blown every day. Somebody comes to their house and blows their hair out.
God. Who's their husband?
Well, go watch the Beverly Hills Housewives. And I'm not one of those. So there you go. If I could do my hair myself, I bought a Shark hair, whatever it is, blow dryer and all this equipment. And I can't figure it out. So
you can't?
No, the guy is going to show me how to use it at the hair salon.
I blow my own hair dry every day.
You don't. No offense. It's not like you're blowing it into a style. You just blow it to get it dry.
Poof it out a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
you poof it out, but it's not like me.
You can't do that yourself.
Why? Maybe I should go with Hazel to marry
today before the show. No,
no. He blew it out yesterday, and today I just quickly flipped my head over and I blew it out again. But I'm going Thursday, so make a note. Thursday, I'm going to get the touch-up.
Yeah. This stylist will be here today, gone tomorrow. Oh, trust me. Am I right? Am I right?
I love this guy. He's great.
I predict doom for this stylist. Because you're not quite...
No, it has to grow a little bit. It has to grow, and then I'll let it go back to wavy.
All right. So, Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and your hair. Oh.
And what is our ritual every Christmas time, what do we
watch
do?
movies,
We
Christmas
watch
movies.
Christmas movies, and we have a rotation
We
that
do.
we always watch, some of them
We
twice.
do.
And it's our thing,
Yeah,
right?
we do it Christmas
and
Eve and Christmas week leading up to
I
Christmas
look hugely forward to
Yeah, it's
this
fun.
every year because it makes us laugh. Again,
We laugh.
It's like an annual ritual that everything's going to be okay,
Yeah.
right?
We hole
Okay.
up and we just watch
All
our
right.
movies.
So what we do in sports is we rank. Obviously, Jordan's way better than
I
LeBron
know,
ever
I know,
thought
I
about
know.
being, right?
I know. Jordan's part of our family, I
And
know.
yes, I'm
He's
wearing my Jordans. Yeah.
stepbrother.
Let's rank our top 5 Christmas movies because I'm not sure yours are even close to mine.
Well, we
Or
do
vice
watch Die
versa.
Hard every year.
Okay, well, that's going to come up. But is
Okay.
that in your top 5?
No.
No?
That's
Okay.
not my top 5
How
Christmas
can
movie.
Die Hard not be your top one?
I'm a different person than you in our interests, right? You like sports. I'm not a sports person. I like old movies. You're not a big
She
old
likes
movie.
old.
No, I
movies.
do. So my number 1 movie would be White Christmas.
White Christmas?
White
That's
Christmas,
a song.
yeah. Yeah, I'm dreaming of a White Christmas. That's
Yeah.
where the song came from.
Oh.
Okay, so the movie, it's Bing Crosby, it's Danny Kaye, it's Rosemary Clooney.
From the 40s?
Yeah, it's from the 40s. Yeah, it's a classic. I even have a sweatshirt.
You know,
White
it's
Christmas
funny
sweatshirt.
to me about her. I'm 10 years older than she is.
Yeah.
But her soul is at least 20 years older than I am.
Oh,
am I right?
my mother always said that I was an old soul.
You are
and
a
even when
very
I was
old soul.
12 years old, I loved 1940s movies.
Well, I must admit, I've never watched White Christmas with you, and maybe I owe you that.
No,
Maybe I
because
should
you won't
do
get
it.
into it, and then it'll ruin me watching White Christmas because you'll be like, they're going to break out singing and in the middle of talking. And yes, I love musicals. I love Broadway.
Would I fall asleep?
No, you'd be looking at the stats of some game that's going on.
I'd be watching a game
right,
on my phone.
exactly.
if
So
it's
that's my
possible.
number 1.
All right,
White
number
Christmas.
2.
Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn.
About the
Fred
motel?
Astaire.
Oh.
No, that's where they named it Holiday Inn after
No,
the movie.
here we go with the old movies.
These are Irving Berlin. These are classics. Fred Astaire, Bing Crosby.
How do you know these movies?
Because they're part of Americana. I mean, I don't know where. I didn't create them. These
Nobody
are classics.
watching right now has ever heard of Holiday
They
Inn.
have. They'll write in and they'll say, "You don't know good movies."
You rock.
Holiday
Yeah.
Inn. So it's White Christmas, Holiday Inn. My third one is, don't fall off the seat, Christmas in Connecticut.
I spent some Christmases in
Barbara
Connecticut, in
Stanwyck.
Bristol, Connecticut.
Yeah, you lived enough in Bristol,
Nowhere,
Connecticut.
yeah.
Barbara Stanwyck.
Okay.
Okay,
I
who
kind
is
of
the
like
most
Barbara Stanwyck.
beautiful woman.
I don't think she was
Barbara
very
Stanwyck.
sexy, but that's a whole
That's
other
your
issue.
opinion, but
Okay.
she was great in this movie.
Okay.
So it's White Christmas, Holiday Inn, Christmas in Connecticut.
Okay.
Okay.
Top 3 are old soul movies
Mhm.
that I have no feel for whatsoever. Not watched a minute of any of those 3.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Then I come to there's a fork in the road because I have to decide. I do like Christmas with the Cranks, and I do like that one with Danny DeVito, and I can't think of the name of it when he says
We should
to
have looked
Matthew
it up.
Broderick.
You got to
I
do
know,
your
right?
homework
Okay,
if you're going to do a
sorry.
show.
You know, when Matthew Broderick, he puts all the Christmas lights on his house, and Matthew
Oh,
Broderick
yeah,
is
that
his
was
neighbor,
funny.
and he says, "How many lights
I
do
know,
you
but
need?"
those are
He
just
goes,
silly. Those don't
no, but he
qualify as
says,
top 5.
I need them to see the lights from outer space. Okay, I like that,
That
movie.
was
but,
funny.
Okay,
Briefly.
my number 4 would be the Griswold Christmas.
Okay.
Chevy Chase.
Wait, I thought you did Cranks and the Danny DeVito.
No, those are just sidebars.
Oh,
I
so
just
they
threw
didn't
those in.
qualify.
No,
Okay.
no, I do like them. but-
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Okay. And then my last one would be, I would have to say, the 1938 Scrooge.
Okay, thank you. Because that's, okay.
So I threw one,
Bone
there's
to
one
me.
modern,
yeah.
1980, whatever it was, and the
Yeah.
rest are old.
It was like 1990, I think,
Okay.
was Christmas
All right, those are
Vacation.
mine.
Right, in that ballpark. Okay, now we go back to reality.
Oh, yeah, right. And then, yes,
Right.
you'll be going back to
Okay.
the world of your
But I do
reality.
start with the old one that you finished with.
Okay.
Because the 1938 A Christmas Carol,
Yeah.
Charles Dickens,
Yeah.
Ebenezer Scrooge,
Yeah.
Bob Cratchit,
Yeah.
is the best. It's the best Christmas moral story.
Yeah.
There's a moral to this
Yeah,
story.
it's great.
And I identify because I think I have a lot of Scrooge in me.
Oh, you definitely do.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I relate to the ghost of Christmas past,
And you also are
present,
Bob
and
Cratchit
future.
because you never stop working.
Okay, but I'm better than Bob Cratchit.
No, you're a
he
better
wasn't
person
very
than
smart.
Bob.
No, he's a good person.
But he doesn't stop working.
And obviously there's Tiny Tim.
Right.
I don't have a Tiny Tim. I got
We
a
have a
Tiny Hazel.
Tiny
Hi,
Hazel.
Hazel. Say hello. God bless us,
God bless
everyone.
us, everyone.
Thank you.
But it's a good movie,
That's
and
very
actually,
sweet.
I did see this morning on the Today Show. I think it was
Yeah.
Today or GMA.
Yeah.
That they were ranking the scariest Christmas movies, and that's one of the top scariest.
Well,
Christmas
it's scary
movies.
because of the ghost of
It's the
Christmas
ghost,
past
yeah.
and the horrors that he sees that his life became. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think I need somebody to take me
Flying
on
above.
blast through the past
Right.
to say, ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
My number 2, and it's close to number 1, it's Die Hard because it is a Christmas movie and it is a great Christmas movie. For those who don't know, it is Bruce Willis. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Bruce Willis at his best.
at his greatest. He is at his
besides
studdest.
Moonlighting, which I love.
Well, he was doing Moonlighting
doing-
at this point.
Yeah.
But he looks the part. He
Yeah,
acts the
he's
part.
great.
He outwits. He out-toughs. He outshoots. Hans Gruber, one of the great, I think he's the greatest movie villain, Alan Rickman, one of the greatest
Great
movie
actor.
villains ever. And he has 13 assailants. You know, people think they're terrorists, but they're thieves. Is all they are.
Right.
Well, it's 1 on 14, and Bruce starts out barefooted. And he does have his police revolver, but then he gets a ho ho ho. I have a machine gun now, right? And then here we go.
Well, this is the one that
I know
you
every
recite
line.
every word. Every word. It's really
such a
hard to
great
watch
movie.
it when he's reciting every word.
Her sister called the other night, and it was time for us to go to bed. And she said, "I'm watching Die Hard on MTV," and we're like, "MTV?"
So we put it on, but it had commercials.
But it had commercials, but we're like riveted, and we can't stop watching it to go to bed.
Then he started filling in what they were saying.
And she said, "Okay, I'm out."
I had enough.
We've watched it 4,569 times, and we're about to go up to 71 times because we will watch it twice before Christmas, right?
And because we live near where they filmed
you can look out our window.
He purposely drives by to see the building that they filmed.
You can see Nakatomi Plaza from our window of our place here on the west side of Los Angeles.
That's true.
Okay, 3 for me, even though it can be a little sappy, is Home Alone. And it's the best of the John Hughes, and we're about to get to another big John Hughes. But the point is that Kevin versus the Wet Bandits, and now we're getting to the point where we kind of fast forward to the Wet Bandits because Pesci and Daniel Stern are. He's funny.
Incredible. He's incredible.
When he gets his hair lit on fire,
it's too funny. It's just too funny.
It's cartoonish violence, but it's funny.
It is. It's very funny,
and it has big, great heart to it.
Is that the one with the Home Alone corner, or is that the next one?
No, that's in New York.
That's the Plaza.
That's the next one. She loves New York. She's from there.
Right.
So that's the second one, Home Alone 2. Okay. Then my number 4 on the list is another John Hughes special because it's Christmas Vacation, which also made your list. Because if you want funny for us,
my God.
If you want the saucer sled scene where he puts the cooking lubricant that is supposed to be 500 times slipperier than the usual in your kitchen, and he puts it on his saucer sled and goes he goes through the trees, and then he goes through the snowbank and through the, I think it's an outhouse.
Yeah, it's like,
And then he goes all the way across a 6-lane highway, and then he crashes in the parking lot of a Walmart. And it's funny.
What about the turkey scene when they overcook the turkey?
We could talk the rest of the day about this.
Movie.
But the all-time scene for her is the squirrel scene because she loves squirrels. In our complex, we're in a gated community, and she has little pet squirrels. She would like to have one in-house, like to bring one in-house.
My sister's friend has one.
She has a pet squirrel, and it works, right?
Yeah, his name is Chip.
But this squirrel gets in their Christmas tree, and then madness ensues. And every time we watch it, it is hilarious to me. It's hard to make me laugh out loud, but this makes me laugh out loud.
The same
and when they all go running up the stairs, and the squirrel is on Chevy Chase's back,
oh my God!
Then you got me,
funny.
Clark Griswold. It's very good, and it's even better because it has the Christmas heart at the center of it than the first Vacation, and then the European Vacation and all that. And number 5, and you and I have not watched this carefully, but I thought hard about this because this is a favorite of mine from childhood. Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, I do
because
like
it's
that.
Macy's
No,
and
it's
it's New York City
I mean,
and
Macy's
it's Kris
and Santa
Kringle.
and Natalie Wood.
And Natalie Wood is the little
She's 5
girl
years old.
who was about to become a superstar, and she was hot and sexy
she was
and
beautiful. Yeah, she was beautiful.
She met a bad end out here off the coast, but
Yeah.
and nobody knows exactly how that
No.
transpired. But the point
Yeah.
was that was her breakthrough
Oh,
role.
that's a great movie.
And they questioned the veracity of Kris Kringle
Kris
being
Kringle.
actually Santa
Yeah.
Claus, and they go to court
Yeah,
to
they
prove
take him to
that there
court.
is a Santa Claus, and
Yeah.
it's really good. And by the way, it got nominated for 3 Oscars,
Oh.
and it was nominated for Best Picture
Wow.
in that year of,
Like
I'm not
40,
sure what year,
it has to be like
47. So
yeah.
here I go, old movies
Yeah.
again. But that one, if you haven't watched that,
It's
and it
it's
lost to Gentleman's Agreement. Do you remember Gregory Peck?
Oh yeah.
And it's about he posed as a Jewish person in New York City to prove how
Yes.
bad the anti-Semitism
Yes, I remember
was.
that.
So it's hard to beat that
No.
with a Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
it's a little tough.
But it did finish second to
Those
that.
are. I mean, and
Okay,
there's
that's my
100
top
more.
5,
Yeah,
and
there
I
are
think
so many more,
I think I just obliterated your top 5, but that's okay. It's okay.
Mine will still continue
And by the
to live
way,
on.
we agree on these 2 not being on our list. It's a Wonderful Life
Yeah,
because
that's a
it's
good
just
Jimmy
sappy,
Stewart.
sentimental. It's actually a rip-off of the Scrooge theme. It's
A little
like
bit,
they
because
took
he
the
takes
Charles
he
Dickens
takes them
theme,
back through his life to see.
right? And
Yeah.
and it's a little bit second rate to me. And I've tried to watch
I
it.
like
And I
Jimmy
can't finish
Stewart.
it.
I
Well,
do
how
like
can you not?
And Donna Reed.
And
was in
then
it.
my family, I know my brother and sister loved A Christmas Story, and I just thought it was
I
silly.
never got into A Christmas Story.
It's
Peter
not funny to
Billingsley.
me. Yeah, it's just not funny. And
People
Darren
love
McGavin
it.
is
Yeah, and the other movie though people love is Elf, which I do like. Elf.
You like
because
Elf?
Bob
and I don't.
Newhart
I'll
and Will
give me
Ferrell.
Die Hard, right?
All right,
Okay.
well, there's enough to go around.
All right, so we've got my top 5 way over your top 5, but that's
Right,
okay.
according to
You're learning, and I
Yeah.
think you'll come around if we do this again
No,
next
I
year. I think your list will look a whole lot like
No, I
mine
won't.
because these are the movies we consistently watch.
Okay.
Okay, speaking of Christmas, let's go deep for just a moment here, because when we first met, I'm obviously Christian. I don't like the label of Christian, but I'm a God guy from Oklahoma City, grew up
Right.
in the Methodist Church, and
did.
you are Jewish Italian,
Catholic.
and you grew up some in the Catholic Church, but you did
I
go
went
to
to church
temple.
and I went to temple.
Okay, so you
So-
got both going.
Yeah.
But
My
you-
parents believed that they should not cram us, down the throats of you have to become
Yes.
a Catholic or you have to become, totally Jewish faith. So we did
so
everything.
you were
Yeah, I
both.
would go to church and I had a best friend and I sang in the rock choir of, church.
of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I went to temple with my mother.
Okay.
And so
So-
I'm pretty open.
When we first met, she was great to me because she agreed on Christmas Eve to attend with me the Christmas service
The
at
Methodist Church on 61st and Park.
it's Christ Church United
Yeah.
Methodist Church,
Great
which
church.
I just picked out of the phone book, but I wanted to go to a Christmas Eve, and I was new to New York, and so I said, "Let's try it."
Yeah.
And you kind of took to it because
Yeah,
you
I
liked
loved
the
it.
church a
I
lot.
loved. Yeah, it was great. It was a great church, and every year they do the blessing of the animals there.
Stephen Bauman
Yeah, Stephen Bauman and
was the minister.
Cindy Adams, the gossip columnist, goes and brings and people.
We
Bring
saw a lot
everything.
of celebrities.
Yeah,
We saw various.
Nancy Grace.
Nancy
used to
Grace
go.
was there,
She
yeah.
became our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that would go to that church. It's a
Okay.
great one.
And we segue to here, and we do go to a Methodist church here on the west side of LA.
Mhm.
And now we've come around to Christmas Eve again, and I'm already trying to schedule for us to go. Usually it's hard on me because I often have, in the past, have had shows on Christmas
Well, you would have
morning.
to get up at 2 in,
Yeah,
so it's hard
right.
to watch games the night before. And
Exactly. If there are games, I don't think anybody plays on Christmas Eve. You're
Yeah.
doing okay. You're doing okay.
But-
Everything's fine. But the point is that out here, sometimes you get a little upset because you see these people, and it's a little more Beverly Hillsy out here.
it's not the same feeling.
It's
as
not the same
New York.
feeling, and she's
Well,
got a
plus
little treat.
also New York, it's cold, and it just becomes part of the whole atmosphere of New York in Christmas,
It's
Christmas
been
time.
75 every day out here. And it
Yeah.
feels like summer.
And so in New York City, it's cold. You bundle up, and you're all the lights by Bloomingdale's and Park Avenue. It's a different feeling.
But you get a negative vibe out here because so many people obviously only go to church.
Only go twice a year, Easter and Christmas
That's
Eve.
it. So,
and that's fine if that's
for
what
us
they
to
want
even
do.
get a seat at
we hardly
the
ever got a
service,
seat.
yeah, it's
We would
hard
stand.
because they open the doors. They said at 4:30 and it starts at 5.
Right.
And
I
it's
think they'd get there at like 3.
it's great music, and it's
Yeah,
they even play
it's
my
pretty.
new favorite song by Trans-Siberian Orchestra,
Right.
which is a Christmas Carol canon.
Right.
It's called Christmas Canon.
Yep.
And we love, I've gotten into
good
it, but
song.
they always play it
They do.
there,
They play
even
it
though they
there.
don't have the woman singing that
No.
the orchestra has as they tour. We even thought about going to Oklahoma City to watch them because I got so into it.
Yeah.
But now I realize I like only one song,
Right.
right?
That'd be hard to go there from one side.
Okay.
We'll just
So
leave.
will you go with me? That's
I'll
the question.
go. I'm fine with going.
Okay.
But I believe I don't have to go to a church to feel God in me or
No,
feel that
I
I'm
understand.
near God. I like the whole idea of going, and then they have the chorus, and the church is pretty. I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you lean over and whisper, "These people are here only twice a year"?
Well, no, I mean I don't recognize anybody. We don't know the
Because
people because they only
when
show up
we
twice
go,
a year.
or I go by myself occasionally on a Sunday morning, the the congregation is about
90 years old?
no, it's about a tenth the size of a Christmas. Well, I mean, it fills up, it spills over.
Mm-hmm.
They open the balcony on
Yeah,
Christmas
they do.
Eve,
I mean, it's a tough place to get a
Right.
seat.
and I do like to celebrate the birth of Christ. That's
Yeah.
just me, and I like to sing the Christmas carols that they're going
Yeah.
to do. All the "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear" and
Standards.
"First Noel" and all those songs. We will sing them all, and it just it does my heart good to go. It's
I can't wear a
important to
winter
me.
coat, but that's okay.
No, you can't wear a winter
Right.
coat, but it's LA,
It's
baby.
okay. We're in LA.
Right?
I'll wear
Okay.
my sparkly top.
Okay. All right. So I think it's time that we take some questions and comments from the
Okay.
audience.
Ready?
By the way, I forgot one quick point
Yeah.
before we go on Die Hard. We talked last week about this movie Carry On
Oh, yeah.
that's
It was
on
fun.
Netflix,
Oh, my
and it
God,
was
it's
fun. It's kind of
It's a
it's
poor
oddly
man's
funny.
Die
It's
Hard.
almost like black comedy,
Yeah,
sort of,
It is.
but with Jason Bateman. But I heard an advertisement that offended me the other day. I actually tweeted about it, that Carry On is this holiday season's Die Hard. And I'm like,
No.
stop it.
They can't replace
You-
Die Hard.
well, it can't even get in
No.
the stratosphere
Bruce
with
Willis
Die Hard.
is beyond, and the story is
and
just.
so is Alan Rickman as
Alan
Hans
Rickman
Gruber.
and Alexander Goodenough.
Oh, God.
It's
It's
just,
such a great
and Bonnie
story.
Bedelia.
Oh, she's so
She's
good.
great.
I mean, this is...
And her nephew, is from Home Alone. That's her nephew.
Oh, really?
Is
I didn't know
Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
that. Oh, I didn't know that. I
Trivia.
learn something every day. She
Trivia
knows her
that I
movies. Okay.
Why I don't know.
Okay, but listen, Carry On is like a little ditty compared
Oh,
to
you
Die
can't
Hard.
compare.
It's just
Can't compare.
it's just a little.
But it's a fun movie.
It's like an hors d'oeuvre for Die
Yeah,
Hard,
it
right?
is. It's
Okay.
true.
All right. Thank you.
It is
Okay,
true.
let's get to your questions and comments, and let us start with Tappa from Japan.
Wow.
We got a viewer in Japan
Wow.
who asks, "You've both mentioned you're not having kids, and Hazel is enough.
Oh boy, she is.
But do you mentor anybody?" Mentor anybody? Okay, well, I'm the first to tell you, if I may declare this publicly,
Yeah, go ahead.
she mentors me. I am her child. And I think because I didn't really have a mother, I think there's a lot of Jewish mother in you that I gravitate to.
Well,
And so,
I am a mother. A psychic once told me I am the mother to the world.
To the world,
So,
she is.
Not just you. I do it to everybody.
And in a good way, she's the mother to me because
That's true.
she is fiercely loyal and protective and dedicated.
And I tell you to
to-
wear your socks around the house so you don't step on anything that could be.
Or because my feet are cold.
'Cause
Put
your
your
feet are
socks
cold.
on because your feet are cold. It's
I don't
it's classic
Common
Jewish mother
sense.
kind of things.
Right, but I had the greatest
And-
Jewish mother in the world.
And,
so
and she did. Oh, Evelyn was the greatest.
she's the best.
She was more of a mother to me than my mother
That
was a
is
mother
true.
to me.
That is true.
And they got to know each other a little bit, but didn't really get along that great. My mother was hard to deal with. But my mother was pretty. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
So is our daughter.
That is true.
Okay. So I don't have time. I've been so obsessed with what I've been doing because I'm Ebenezer Scrooge that I haven't taken the time to mentor because I chose to not have children. So the point is, we don't have kids because I didn't think I'd be a good father, except that all my friends always say, "Oh no, you'd be a great dad.
You would be a great dad.
I'm good. I'm good to her.
You are good to her, but you would be a good dad to a young boy who likes sports. You'd be like the ultimate, or big brother. You know, when you can kind of become a big brother to someone. That would be the ultimate.
But my father was such a bad guy. Yeah. He was so evil, and he was so hard on me and my brother, not my sister so much, but me and my brother, as I'm sure my brother would attest, that I wanted to break the chain. I didn't want to turn into my father, which you're prone to do because you're genetically predisposed to turning into what you got born with,
Sometimes you can break that. But.
Well, I don't know that you can. So I feared that as many good qualities as I might have to be a father or a father figure, that in the end, I might slowly start turning into him and his bad habits and his temper and the way he abused me verbally.
Yeah. But you had that issue. I didn't have that. I just never wanted to have kids.
Why?
I just felt as though I always wanted to be able to pick my handbag up and walk out of the house and go traveling. Because in my job, right, in my, all of my career, I traveled a ton. And I always thought, how could you have a child and travel? And I never had the feeling. When I was 10 years old, I never wanted, my dream was to move to New York City.
You
from
are
Long
rare.
Island.
You're rare.
My friends wanted to have kids and,
everybody
have a husband and live in a nice house and have
So
kids.
as you turned 40, you didn't feel your clock ticking?
Not at all.
No?
Oh, I was traveling too much. I liked traveling for my job and traveling the world and going on vacations.
So what was the deal breaker when we first met? It would have been if you had told me on our first date
that you wanted
that you want kids.
Right.
Well, I would have said, sorry, I'm out. I've been through that before and I don't want to go through it again.
That's why I guess we met.
Yeah. We were destined.
I don't have anything against kids. I just don't
fated.
want,
Okay.
And she's enough. And she's more than a child.
I thought you were going to say she's a nut.
No,
she is a nut and
she's
enough.
Not
right?
She is enough. Because she's not going to ever grow up to be on her own.
Okay.
You always have to take care of her.
So my only mentoring is with the son of my longtime best friend dating back to junior high school, who was Craig Humphreys, the radio sports talk legend in Oklahoma City, recently retired, who recently lost his wife, our close friend Bev, to breast cancer, and it was traumatizing for us all, but especially for the one child they had. Craig had 3 daughters by a previous marriage, and they have a son named Sam who's turned into a really good man. He's really had to grow up because he lost his mother, who was, God, she loved that child, man. She poured everything into him.
Yeah.
So I've tried to be like a father to him. I don't want to step on Craig's toes, so I tiptoe a little bit. But Sam is now getting into the sports radio business in Oklahoma City, and I think he's going to be a star. And he's also turning into a star to me off the field. And he's married now and is hoping to start a family. And I pray for him and I try to give him all I can, but then I feel like I don't have enough time to give to him. Well, so that's my dilemma.
That's your mentor.
That's why.
So that's okay.
Okay, let's get to George from West Virginia. Oh, this is interesting. How did you both handle the move from New York to Los Angeles? What was the process like, and do you still keep in contact with New York friends, Ernestine?
Well, handling the move was not easy. That was number one.
It was awful.
Number two, most of my friends are in New York. And so it's a different world in Los Angeles than New York City. And it's just a different energy, and it's a different Everything is different. People don't know time out here. They show up late for everything.
True.
In New York City, you're as punctual as
You are.
no one.
That's true.
No one
That's a
shows
good
up
point.
late. It's here. You show up a half an hour, and people don't even expect you to show up for an appointment. They go, "Oh, you're here? Well, I'm late a half an hour. That's okay."
And I will give you this. You've said this from the start. New Yorkers have more character than Angelians.
They're very real. New Yorkers are very real.
Real. And more trustable, would you say?
And they go out of their way for people. Where people normally they have this I don't know, preconceived notion that New Yorkers are tough and hard. They are, but they'll also go to the mat for somebody they don't know. It's just part of the culture. You just see somebody walking down the street, and if they need help, you go over and help them. Here, nobody would help you. It's not that easy. In LA, it's not the same feeling.
And here, if somebody says, we have a deal,
you need to.
You better get it in writing.
Better not even, I would dismiss that immediately. In New York, somebody says you have a deal, you have a deal.
Okay.
So it's a different world. And the pizza, you cannot get pizza out here. You cannot get a bagel out here.
We order our bagels from New York. We do.
Yeah. Good Chinese food doesn't exist out here.
Although we do love Mulberry's Pizza out here. And that's the closest to New York.
It's the closest, but it's not. The water is just no good.
The water is different.
The water in LA
There's something in
is
the water
not
out
good.
here, right?
That's what,
But you love movies, you love Hollywood. And
I love old Hollywood.
Okay,
that's the problem.
You have enjoyed that part of being in LA.
Yeah, I like that part.
And you've gone to museums and you've gone to documentaries.
But it's still not New York.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Broadway is Broadway. Off-Broadway is not the Omniscient Theater. Or, theater's the Sabin Theater.
Okay, now for my confession.
I'm a true New Yorker. What can I say?
My public admission. My challenge to my wife, sitting next to me, is that 8 years ago we pulled up stakes. She's a native New York. I had worked out here right out of college and said, if I ever get a chance, I'm going back. And she finally said, okay, I'll bite my lip almost till it bleeds and I'll go.
Yes.
Right? And we did get married just because it was time for us to get married to come out here.
2 days before we
did.
got on a plane, we went down to town hall and we got married.
We knew a judge, a good friend of ours named George Silver. And we went in his chambers, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And we used his bailiff and the court reporter as witnesses, and he prepared a
it was like
speech
night court.
for it.
It was just like night court, an episode of Night Court.
And we hammered it home, and it took 5 minutes, and we said,
and then I
done.
think he went back home and watched basketball.
LeBron
something
or
like that.
What time? No, it was
August. It was
July
28th,
right?
Yeah.
I got to remember that because I forget that every year.
July 28th.
Okay, so I went home and watched some preseason football or something.
Or ladies softball from Oklahoma
No,
City.
that would be a little earlier, but that's okay. I do love that.
I get it. I know.
It's the best game out there. I'm riveted by
City.
it. Okay, and I've gotten you to watch it for like 4 minutes at a time.
Maybe 2 minutes.
Maybe 2 minutes at a time. But we did get married. We did come out here, and then it started. How could you do this to me? You made me leave New York, and now the traffic is terrible. These people don't know how to drive.
I never really said, how could you do this to me?
Have you ever ridden in a cab in New York City?
No, cab drivers know how to drive. No,
do they?
New York cab drivers, I'm an excellent driver. I can drive in the middle of Times Square at rush hour. I'm an excellent driver.
I give you that.
Out here, I drive, and people do not know how to drive.
Okay.
You're driving down a main highway, and they decide to just turn around in the middle of the street as though they decided, I forgot I'm going the other way. So you're driving behind somebody, they just make a U-ey in the middle of a 4-lane highway. That would never happen in New York.
Okay, but now it's become almost like your currency with me that you can shame me and guilt me over, you brought me out here to do this.
I have never said you brought me. That is a total... He conjures this up in his head.
All the way.
Listen,
3,000 miles
I came out here knowing the situation, but I never ever said you brought me out here. I say to you, I came out here because of you. That's you're wording it.
No, I'm wording
wrong.
It exactly correctly.
No, you came out here because I always
now
say
you hold it over my head on a consistent basis. Well, I pulled up stakes and I came out
that
here. Now
true.
You've got to do this for me.
It's not a blackmailing situation.
I think it is. And I think I'll never hear the end of it. Although This is the woman who walks. We live close to a mall here. Yeah. She's the mayor of the mall, and she'll take a walk in the afternoon, and she walks up and
everybody knows me. Yeah,
and she'll come back in on a daily basis and say, you know, the weather's really great today.
I'm not.
And I'm like, duh.
That is the truth.
Another day in paradise. That
is the only
thing
give it that LA has going for it.
And what do I always say back to you? It's why all these houses cost so much money because of that weather.
But there's the energy. There is no energy. Like when you get off the plane at JFK or Newark or LaGuardia.
I give you that.
You walk out, even in the airport, there's an energy. You walk up. You get the car to go wherever, and then you hit Manhattan. There's an energy that you do not feel anywhere else in this world.
It's snowing in New York as we speak.
And it's 17 degrees, but there's still an energy, and it's Christmas time, and there's a magical feeling to New York City, especially around the holidays, that you don't find anywhere else.
I give you that. I don't want to live there again.
No, you don't have to.
And if you want to go back,
well, if I win the lottery, I will get an apartment there. I really will.
Okay.
Or I will go live at my favorite hotel, the Carlisle Hotel.
Maybe if you stop getting your hair done twice a week,
$80, and then $80 for my blowout and $20 for my touch-up. That's going to get me my Carlisle
This is hello from Hawaii. See, we got a view of
I love Hawaii, by the way. Hawaii's I love it.
Have to agree with Ernestine on cutting off communication with my old girlfriend and ex-wife.
That's why I love Hawaii.
There's just no room for that in a marriage, especially these days. I don't know about these days, but especially Hawaii goes on to say, as a young married man, I'm learning that even I may not have certain feelings about a situation, but it's not about how I feel, but how my wife feels.
That's so sweet.
Okay?
That's so sweet.
And that's why I gave in to you finally. I don't understand it because
that's really sweet.
My ex-wife was my junior high sweetheart. She was
1,000 years ago.
I was 14 and she was still 12 years of age when we first started whatever you do at that
1,000
age.
years ago. Do you know that she does not look like she's 14 anymore?
I don't want her physically. I just had a connection with her because we went through so much.
But it doesn't matter. That's old
days.
News. That's old yesterday's. That's fish wrap.
She's my sister. She's my friend. Okay?
Forget it.
Okay.
I have the current you for the last 19.
Okay, but
she's in the past of 14 years old of a junior high school doesn't exist anymore.
I had an ex-girlfriend I have no physical attraction for whatsoever, but I went through 8 years with her.
Saw her. Please.
Okay, well, okay.
Please.
But I understand, and I finally gave in to you. If that's how you feel, then that's how I should feel. But still, like a sister to me, because neither of those relationships ended badly.
Right, but
with the first one, we were just kids who got married, and we grew apart. We were literally brother and sister because we grew up kind of brother and sister.
Yes.
Okay, bad idea. It was a bad idea. But then my ex-girlfriend, she wanted kids and I didn't. And we realized it will not work this way.
But as I said last week, which I'll reiterate this week, there's never a brother and sister in any relationship. There's always one side. Well, that's you, but maybe you stay you remain a brother to everybody.
Okay.
The other side doesn't see the brother. So that's the situation. So I appreciate that this man can appreciate what I said. And
I ended both those lines of communication.
Right. Well, it's ridiculous. Them both off. Ridiculous.
Okay, this is Jerry W2460 from YouTube. When you go out to eat and they seat you in a booth, do you sit on the same side or do you sit facing each other?
Depends if we had a fight. But no, normally, if we went out with another couple, which we don't really ever do.
Well, that's not true.
We see people occasionally, but it's not like we go out every single week with couples.
No, we don't do that a lot.
We would sit next to each other if there are two other people, or we always sit across from each other because it's really hard to talk. Like, this is hard to talk. How could we... We're going to eat like this and talk like this?
No, but you'd be all over. If one of our favorite places, Nate and Al's in Beverly Hills.
It's a deli.
Classic
Jewish
deli. And the booths are kind of cramped. And if we sit side by side, not that we're going to canoodle in public for people,
But it's hard to even eat. So we sit across from each other.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we sit across because we can talk.
Yeah.
Face to face, and I don't think that means that our marriage has crumbled, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Other things would crumble
it. I think we actually agreed on one.
I don't think the booth is going to crumble us.
Okay, and this is from VVS Mixing, at VVS Mixing. This is like being at a marriage counselor for free. And I love it. Well, thank you, VVS.
Oh my God.
And
if
yet,
we could help you with your marriage.
Hey, trust me
Please.
on this. These sessions, to
It's
me,
like a therapy session.
have helped our marriage.
Right.
Even though last Friday we had one of our all-time
We had a
fights.
blowout, but that's
but
okay.
we got through it much faster than usual. Thanks
Because
to her.
I'm the one,
She
as
did
you
it.
recall, that
She
always
said, "Gotta
says,
shake."
stick your hand
Yeah,
out, whatever.
and we shook, and we
Yeah.
shook it off.
Yeah.
Fairly quickly, but it was a significant conversation about our sort of future professionally,
Right.
and we worked through it.
We did.
And what helped me was having talked about it here, because usually I internalize everything. Now I have to externalize. So it's been actually healthy for our marriage. I think we're counseling each other.
I wish we could invite a couple of couples
Well, maybe we'll get there.
to
Maybe
join
we'll
us.
try.
It would be fun.
Okay.
That would be fun.
But I would dare anybody to go as deep and be as candid and raw as we get on this, because I've been going into some deep water here.
Yes, he has.
Right?
And so have I.
Okay.
And so has Hazel, even though she hasn't said anything.
And finally, she's doing a good job today.
She's doing a good job. She's a little
Thank you.
wiry before, but she's okay.
Thank you.
But-
Finally, from at Spuds 4K. Thanks for keeping Skip in line for us, Ernestine.
Yes.
Thanks for keeping Skip in
You're
line
welcome.
for us.
It's a tough job. Somebody has to do it.
Nice try.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
In your
try.
dreams.
Yeah,
In your dreams.
In your dreams.
Listen.
I think I'm still completely out of line.
He's out of line until I bring him
But
back in line.
I must admit, I do love her.
I love
say that
him,
with
but
clenched teeth. I do love her.
and I love him.
And you know what? Her hair looks really great.
Oh, here we go.
And
oh,
her,
God.
do you call it a blouse or a top?
Yes, it's a blouse.
Blouse?
Yeah.
Your blouse looks sexy.
Thank you.
It looks
Thank you.
sensational.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to give
Little
you that.
glitz for
Okay?
today.
You look
Thank you.
sexy.
Oh, God,
You look
thank you.
like attractive.
Oh.
Like, way to go.
Once in a while,
Congratulations. I'm admitting it
Once
publicly.
in a while, I clean up pretty well.
Whew.
Anyway.
That's it for this episode.
This is our holiday edition.
Yes, holiday edition of Skip versus Ernestine, thanks to the holiday blouse. Merry
We
Christmas
wish
to you.
you Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah to you.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
We will see you
We'll see you
next
soon.
week, if in fact we're still together.
Oh, we will. See you.